Hello, everyone, and welcome to our last session where we covered the top 12 coaches in the NCAA league. I know these last two coaches didn't have or were not part of the playoffs. I know the playoffs are coming up next week on Monday. However, this was part of my 12, and I wanted to complete the 12. So today, we are going to talk about two coaches. And the two coaches we're talking about today are both coaches. Like I said, they weren't part of the NCAA playoffs. So who do we have today? We're going to do the distinctive approaches of Coach Ryan Day and James Franklin. So welcome everyone back to our Gridiron Leaders series. Again, today we're delving into the coaching minds of Ryan Day of Ohio State and James Franklin of Penn State. We'll uncover what sets these two apart in the competitive landscape of college football leadership. First, we're going to talk about the offensive strategists. Ryan Day took over at Ohio State following Urban Meyer, stepping into big shoes. He's known for his offensive ingenuity and quarterback development. And we'll discuss how Day's approach to offense, to the offensive teams or building offensive teams side of the team has kept Ohio State at the forefront of college football. Then we're going to dive into Coach James Franklin. He is known as the culture builder. Coach Franklin has been a transformative figure at Penn State. His emphasis on culture, resilience, and community engagement has redefined the program. We'll explore Franklin's leadership style and how it's reshaped Penn State football. Next, we'll dive into comparing leadership styles while Day focuses on strategy and offensive paralysis. Franklin emphasizes culture and motivation. We'll compare their approaches and discuss how each style contributes to their team's success. Then we're going to discuss the unique contributions to college football, both. What makes Coach Ryan Day and Coach James Franklin stand out among their peers? Why are they part of the 12? So we'll take a deep dive into their unique contributions to college football, from Day's, again, offensive mastery to Franklin's ability to galvanize a team and the fan base. That's very important. Team and fan base. Throughout this 12 series, we've seen some that can do the team, and while others can do the team and the fans. But I think this one here kind of takes the top of the chain with his ability to really engage both uniquely. And then we're going to talk about the lessons beyond the leadership, beyond leadership in the gridiron, or beyond gridiron leadership rather. And we'll discuss what business leaders and professionals can learn from Day's strategic thinking and Franklin's core culture building process, and how these lessons can be applied in other fields. And then we'll wrap it up. We are going to have maybe an episode or two more, at least one more, because I want to, next week's episode, talk about the playoffs and getting to that and showing you the coaches, the four coaches that were in the between the Cotton Bowl and the Rose Bowl, and now the final championship game. And we saw top coaches there, both Harbaugh and Saban. And then we saw two emerging coaches, And I want to talk about that emerging leader coaches. They're not emerging coaches, they're leaders, but I would consider them emerging leaders. They really had not made championships. We're going to see here for Washington. Hopefully in the next day or two, we'll see if Washington is able to beat out Harbaugh and his coaching and career style. Now, he has a dynamic team. They've been around a while, with him, I think 6 years, and I think that's fantastic. So we're going to see, how leadership plus that team dynamic play into focus. And I listen, for me, just thinking on the outside, I was wrong last week. I had the winners wrong, so I'm not going to go there again this week. But I don't know. I mean, it all depends on what the people are putting in and how they feel. But for this week, we're going to get started. So our discussion points for day are how do we learn about his transition from offensive coordinator to head coach and how he managed that shift. We're going to talk about his reputation for developing quarterbacks and leading high scoring offenses. We'll also talk about how he has sustained and built upon the success of storied programs like Ohio State. And then we'll also dive into a comparative analysis with Day and James Franklin's journey to Penn State, and how he revitalized the program amidst some challenges that he came into. And we'll focus on how he focused on building a strong team culture and emphasis on character and community. He found that very important. And I think the hiring committee goes out and look for a lot of these things when they're looking to bring in that next coach. So strategies Franklin uses to motivate his team and connect with recruits and the fan base. So this episode is really highlighting both Coach Day and Coach James Franklin and the niches of college football and things of that nature. So I wanted to start this segment with what the players had to say about them. And so we can drive some context. I told you a little bit about them coming into it, but let's talk about a little bit what the players are saying about them. So feedback from players on days that have played with Day. I saw comments, player development focus. Players often mention that Day's commitment to their development on and off the field, and he was known for his ability to develop quarterbacks, with players praising his detailed coaching and ability to improve their technical skills. That's extremely important for those players out there and parents thinking, oh, my son is a quarterback, but I want him to be with somebody who has the skill sets or the training techniques that can help him. Offensive expertise, many players, especially offensive ones, commented on Dave for his, or commended him rather, for his innovative offensive schemes, his understanding of the game and ability to adapt to players' strengths is frequently highlighted. I love reading that about him, how that strength is highlighted and what was there, and listening to some tapes and things of that nature. It took me a while this week to listen to everything. Yes, I was coming back off of some, I don't know, cold or whatever. And the approachability and support, I found that Day was often described as an approachable and supportive to his players, and helping them feel comfortable discussing football and personal matters with him, which to me speaks to his ability to connect personally, and that was very important. And then inspiring confidence. I felt that the players under Day did express how his coaching style instills confidence in them. His belief in his players' abilities often translated into enhanced performance on the field. So they had a lot of respect. His players have a lot of respect for him. Now let's jump over to Coach James Franklin. That culture builder. He's a culture builder. You know, guys, you know I love culture and talking about culture. So his players, Coach Franklin players often mention that Coach Franklin focused on building a solid team culture. They really seem to appreciate his emphasis on character, discipline, and teamwork, which has helped foster a strong sense of unity within the team. And then motivational leadership, I saw that players frequently cited Franklin's ability to motivate and energize the team. His pre-game speeches and sideline demeanor seemed to be known to be particularly inspiring. You could watch that and see it. Commitment to excellence. Well, Franklin's commitment to excellence in all aspects of the program, including academics, as well as was really well regarded to me by his players. He often seemed to be pushing them to succeed in both football and their academic pursuits. I thought was excellent. We've seen some other coaches like this as well. And then that genuine care and mentorship. To me, players really spoke about his genuine care for their well-being and future. He seemed to be seen as a mentor figure who helped players navigate both their athletic and personal challenges. So from a player perspective, I thought both Coach Ryan Day and Coach James Franklin both received high praise throughout the videos I watched and things from their former players for different aspects of their coaching. Day lauded for his technical expertise and player development, particularly in offensive teams, while Franklin is celebrated for his ability to build team culture and motivate and mentor his players. Now, could you imagine if both of these were coaching on a team together? Wow. So these testimonials that I saw from players offer a valuable perspective on leadership styles and the impact these two prominent college football coaches had. When I look at recruiting success, which is one of the questions in the beginning, we talked about indirectly that we would look at, both Day and Franklin have fared, I think, in these two areas. Recruiting success under Day, Ohio State has continued its tradition of being a top recruiting program. Day has attracted high caliber talent, especially offensive players, including quarterbacks, wide receivers, and linemen. His reputation as an offensive mastermind, particularly for quarterbacks, has played a significant really has had a significant draw for recruits trying to come under him. So people are paying attention. From an NFL development perspective, people asked me about this before. Ohio State has a strong history of sending players to the NFL, and this trend has continued under Day. Notably, the program has produced NFL caliber quarterbacks, defensive stars, and other position players during his tenure. Players developed under Day, particularly on offense side, have been well prepared for the professional game, reflecting his emphasis on NFL style schemes and techniques. Now, Franklin at Penn State, recruiting success. Franklin has been praised for his ability he revitalized Penn State's recruiting. He's known for his energetic and charismatic approach, appealing to young athletes and their families. His ability to connect personally with recruits and sell the program's vision has consistently helped Penn State land high-rank recruiting classes. So how's this played out in the NFL development? Well, Penn State under Franklin has continued to be a pipeline for NFL talent. The program has produced several NFL draft picks, including critical contributors at positions like running back, linebackers, and defensive line. And as well, now guys, Franklin's focus on holistic player development, including character and academic achievement, has contributed to the readiness of his players for the challenges of professional football. And I thought that was awesome. Clap, clap, clap. So in doing a comparative analysis, recruiting strategy, Day and Franklin have excelled in recruiting. Through their strategies, though their strategies differ somewhat, Day capitalizes on Ohio State's offensive power, and Franklin leverages his personal charisma and the comprehensive development program at Penn State. The NFL readiness again, Day's players often enter NFL with advanced technical skills, especially in offensive positions. While a testament to his coaching, Franklin's players are recognized for their well-roundedness and preparedness for rigors of professional football. I think that both Day and Franklin have shown considerable success in recruiting and developing NFL talent through their methods and areas of emphasis. Though their methods and areas of emphasis differ, I think that they both have focused on offensive innovation and quarterback development. And that has made, for Day, that has made Ohio State an attractive destination for recruits aiming for an NFL career, especially in offensive roles. While Franklin's holistic approach to players' development and his infectious energy in recruiting have kept Penn State in the upper echelon of programs producing NFL-ready talent. And maybe it's me, guys. Maybe it's I'm getting more educated about this. So the way I see things may be coming across a little differently, but I really saw a lot of talent in these two quiet coaches. I don't hear much about them, and no, I don't follow Ohio State a lot. I do our Penn State, but I am doing a little bit better, and in watching the games and things of that nature. They're just, I'm telling you now. Wait a minute, the SEC. There's something about the South and football. There's a difference, even though people are concerned and in it in the North, in the Northeast, Northwest as well. I just think that there's something about the fan base in the South that really caters and motivates and bring on that energy for those games. So let's talk a little bit about both coaches. Ryan Day, having served as the head coach since 2019, and previously as an offensive coordinator, has been part of the development of several players who made it to the NFL. Some notable names I saw was Chase Young, drafted second overall by the Washington football team in 2020. Jeff, I cannot pronounce his name, Okudah. He was selected third in overall by the Detroit Lions in 2020 during the NFL draft. Justin Fields, the quarterback he was 11th overall by the Chicago Bears in 2021. And Fields was a key player for Ohio State under Day's coaching. And then J.K. Dobbins, he's a running back. He was selected by Baltimore Ravens in 2020 NFL draft. Dobbins had a successful college career at Ohio State. Now, if we look at Franklin, who's been with Penn State since 2014, has seen several of his players advance to the NFL, including Saquon Barkley. He was a running back, and he was drafted second overall by New York Giants in 2018. Barkley was a standout player at Penn State and has become a key player in the NFL. Micah Parsons, he's a linebacker. He was selected by the Dallas Cowboys in 2021. I remember this. And Parsons was highly regarded for his performance at Penn State. Gross Meadows, I think I'm saying his name right. He was a defensive end, and he was drafted by Carolina Panthers in 2020. He was a significant defense. He He was a significant defensive presence at Penn State. And then Chris Godwin, he was a wide receiver. He was drafted by Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And 2017, he developed into a reliable receiver at Penn State and has continued his success in the NFL. So comparing the talent development success by Ryan Day and James Franklin in college football, talent development and mentorship in football, Day and Franklin excel at identifying and nurturing talent. Much like successful corporate leaders like Chase Young and Barkley have both excel in the NFL, akin to how employees mentored by influential corporate leaders often achieve significant success in their industries. So an example of a corporate leader, Jack Welch, he was known, GE, who mentored numerous executives who became CEOs of other major companies, such as James, I think it was James McNerney, I think I'm saying his name right, Nermey, I think I spell it, of Boeing, and Robert Nordelli of Home Depot. Now, building a strong foundation, I think that in football, both coaches provided a really rich foundational skill set to their players, ensuring that they are ready for the professional level. And this was like, I guess you could say, corporate leaders who invest in comprehensive employee training and development programs. The corporate example I have of this is Google and Apple. Both are known for their robust employee development programs, which have prepared countless individuals for successful careers within and outside the company. And then creating a culture of excellence. In football, the culture of excellence and high performance that Day and Franklin cultivated at their respective programs is critical to their player success. This is parallel to corporate leaders who create high-performing organizational cultures. The corporate example is, I know y'all telling me talking about Microsoft, but the guy got it going on. Look at how they've grown. Nadella has been instrumental in creating culture of innovation and collaboration, leading to the development of leaders who really have contributed significantly to the tech industry. And I think that's awesome. I would love to get on at that place because I have some tech, but I'm a little older and more seasoned. So, but still, if I had that opportunity, oh my gosh, to be under someone like that. So adapting to change. Guys, in football, culture of excellence and high performance that coaches Day and Franklin cultivated at their respective programs plays a crucial role in their players' success. This is like corporate leaders who create high-performing organizational cultures. And we've talked a lot about them and how they create those. Pedigree. I want to talk a little bit about pedigree and the role that pedigree plays in here. And when I'm talking about pedigree and this aspect, I'm talking about a pedigree in leadership, which often refers to the background, training, and lineage of success or influence that those leaders bring to their roles. Now, when examining the pedigrees of coaches like Ryan Day and James Franklin and corporate leaders like Jack Welch, Nadella, and Jeff Bezos, we see distinct patterns that contribute to their effectiveness and reputation. So Day's leadership pedigree, background, and offensive strategy. Day is known for his expertise in offensive play, particularly quarterback development, that he's built and cultivated through the years. Mentorship under Urban Meyer, working under renowned coach Urban Meyer at Ohio State. Day gained insights from one of the most successful coaches in college football. And we see that too in Harbaugh from Saban. Success and continuity. Taking over from Meyer, Day maintained and even enhanced the high standards of Ohio State's program, demonstrating his ability to sustain success, continued that success on. And if we look at James Franklin leadership pedigree, we see that it's around building programs, cultural development, and recruiting excellence. Franklin's ability to turn around programs first at Vanderbilt and then at Penn State showcases his skills in rebuilding and developing successful teams. He is known for his focus on team culture, emphasizing character, academics, and community alongside football success. And then Franklin's success in recruiting top talent is a testament to his persuasive communication skills and vision. If we look at the pedigree now of some corporate leaders, Jack Welch, he was known for his strategic leadership and focus on employee development. Welch created a legacy of leadership training and produced numerous future CEOs. Remember when he first left GE for a while, that we kept seeing all these people that worked under him go into corporate leadership positions. I thought it was like players on his team that, from a football perspective, that were now going into other organizations and able to run those teams. Microsoft, Nadella's transformative leadership emphasizing innovation, adaptability, and that growth mindset has really shaped Microsoft's culture, reshaped rather Microsoft's culture and success. And then we have Jeff Bezos of Amazon. Bezos' vision of customer-centric service, strategic risk-taking and innovation in e-commerce and technology has really set standards in the business world. So from this, I got some common pedigree traits: innovation and adaptability. Both sports and business, these leaders are recognized for their innovative approaches and adaptability and changing environments. And then that mentorship and development. A common trait for their focus is on developing others, while athletes or employees, preparing them, whether athletes or employees, they're really preparing them for success. And that strategic vision, they all share a solid vision, which they effectively communicate and implement within their teams or organizations. And then we see that cultural impact. Each leader has significantly impacted the culture of their team and company, often transforming it to achieve tremendous success beyond where they were before coming in. So the pedigree of these leaders reflect a combination of their backgrounds, experiences, mentorships, and personal leadership styles. Whether in the realm of sports or business, their effective leadership practices and their ability, guys, to innovate and their commitment to developing others stand out as defining elements of their success and their influence to me. So we saw some parallels already that we've discussed between the innovative play calling, quarterback development, adapting players in strength, high pace, high energy offense, emphasis on preparation and execution, recruiting top offensive talent. These have been some great things in the culture builder of James Franklin, and how he, again, has known for turning around football programs at Vanderbilt and Penn State, and his leadership extends beyond the field, emphasizing character, community, and academics. I love it. I love it. I love it. In mastery, cultural mastery, Day's coaching philosophy is rooted, guys, in a deep understanding of offensive strategy. He is known for his innovative play calling and adaptability, tailoring the game plan to his players' strengths, and exploiting opponents' weaknesses. Sounds like he's been doing some SWOT analysis to me. And maximizing player potential. Day's ability to develop players, especially quarterbacks, ensures that Ohio State consistently has top-tier talent in critical positions, and the quarterback is a critical position. His ability to be, the adaptability he shows, his willingness to adjust tactics based on the team's needs and opponent's strategy keeps Ohio State versatile and unpredictable. Now, Franklin If we look at his emphasis on culture and motivation, Franklin's leadership style is characterized by a strong emphasis on building a positive team culture. He really focuses on creating an environment where players are motivated, disciplined, and united towards common goal. I think his team cohesion, or he's created a resilient and dedicated team at Penn State by fostering a strong sense of community and team identity. I think those two are very important. That value system, the cultures and all. If I was doing a comparative analysis, I would say strategy versus culture. Day's approach showcases the importance of strategic planning and technical proficiency in football, while Franklin's style underscores the significance of culture and motivation in team sports. The next, I would say technical brilliance versus emotional intelligence. I know Dave's success stems from his tactical brilliance and innovation, while Franklin's success is rooted in his emotional intelligence and ability to cultivate a strong, cohesive team culture. You see how these things can play? You got to take your strengths and build on them and work with your teams with them. On-field execution versus off-field development. Day excels in the field on the on-field execution and player development regarding technical skills, while Franklin excels at off-field player development, emphasizing character and life skills. And I think that the contrasting approaches of both Day and Franklin to coaching college football really demonstrates that there is no one size fits all formula for leadership success, either on the gridiron or in corporate boardroom. There is no one size that fits all. It depends on the leader, what's needed in the leader, and the players around them, or the team in your organization. Day's focus on strategy and offensive power, and Franklin's emphasis on culture and motivation lead to successful outcomes, but through different paths. And this is why I did both of them, because I wanted that comparative analysis to really be highlighted and discussed. Because when I researched both of them, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I want to talk about both of them on the same podcast, because I saw another way of providing a lesson that one size doesn't really fit all. And I'm a firm believer. I don't even believe one size fits all in learning. And I'm doing this podcast, but also do an article. One size does not fit all. And for me, the podcast, the article, the research, the writing, the pulling out things, my refrigerator, my walls look a hot mess because I have notes everywhere. These index cards, I got that from my daughter. She used to do index cards. So when she was studying for whatever, she loves index cards. So I started doing that, but sometimes I get a little wild and crazy with it, guys. It gets to be a little bit much because it starts looking a hot mess. I did the same thing when I was doing my dissertation. The place looked a mess. So from all of this, I think that the lessons we can give in closing for a business professional, one size in leadership, again, doesn't make it for all. And culture, strategic thinking, people, growth, investing in people while they at your company and when they go on to the next is all important. I found that this podcast I really enjoyed. I enjoyed interviewing the 12, or going over and researching the 12 coaches. Next week, I'm going to talk about, we have another show because I combined two here. And we have one more show, where I am combining what we learned from all 12 coaches and how that all lined up. What were the key strengths of those 12 coaches? It won't be a long podcast and it won't be a long article, more than likely, but I do think it's important to kind of culminate culminate things, bring them all together and say, here's what we started with, and here's where we are now. That's it for our show. Today, hope you have enjoyed this as much as I have. I truly have enjoyed sharing the podcast with you, the research with you. I tell you, now, I got enough to do a book because I don't even give you all of the information I researched and pulled out and all. I think in all now, I probably have over 80,000 words. That's enough for a book, but I'm not thinking that too many people are reading a book these days. But maybe we'll put it together and I don't know if we have, if there's a demand or people ask for it, I put it together. I just find that sometimes in these books, some people want things, some people don't, and it doesn't make sense for it. But what I really wanted you to learn from all of this, and one of the biggest things I learned, yes, one size doesn't fit all, but I was so excited. Some people bring excitement to the game and get us all riled up. Like I said, the SEC is different from the other teams. The SEC, they're constantly going, the people are engaged, they're there. That's a little different from the other teams. I don't hear or didn't hear as much from many other people there. I think that the coaches, the top 12 coaches we covered, had a lot of similarities with the leaders that we highlighted over the 12 weeks in this podcast. We saw the similarities. Hopefully, we can take a lot of this back and start seeing how we can transition that in for others in the organization. I did notice I did come up with a Prime Leadership course. I even have a song, guys, called Prime Leadership, and it's not about Coach Prime necessarily, but I took Prime and looked at it from the professional, resilience, innovative, motivational, and excellence in execution, which I find that all of these coaches bring to the table. And I did build a course around that. I haven't put it out there yet, but I did notice that the Colorado Buffaloes did put out their course. They're starting a course this quarter in January on Prime leadership around Coach Prime and how they're doing that. They're more focused on Coach Prime. Mine is focused more on that excellence. I saw Prime as in Prime, Amazon Prime, or any other Prime. And what is Prime to me, even though Coach Prime uses that, I saw it a little bit differently, but it was inspired. I do like Coach Prime. He's invigorating, he's energetic, he has all of that going, but we'll see. I'm quite sure Colorado will do well. Like I said, I was excited to see that they had the same, possibly the same idea. I don't know if their idea was at the same time mine was, but I know I did. And I sent it out and shared it with Coach Prime. And I think I shared it with the president as well in a text I sent in on LinkedIn. If I didn't, I meant to share it with the CEO of Colorado as well. I mean, the president. But that's it for our show. I've enjoyed, and until next time, until our last episode, we'll see you. I am thinking of next going to basketball and doing a podcast around the coaches there and college basketball and bringing that together as well. So until then, take care and thank you again for joining me on the show. I'm Dr. Marilyn Carroll, and I am your host for this show, and I am the innovator and the brainchild behind it. And we have done a lot with this show, and I want to thank you, all of you that are out there listening, reading my posts, all of that. I thank you.